Alrighty then, my G's. Welcome back to another episode of the Patreon Feedback Stream Chronicles. And this is our monthly edition. We try to do one a month, if it works out. And today is the 22nd of September, Friday. I've just dropped a new track as well called Chapanero. If you guys haven't checked it out, go and give that a listen after this. Yeah, and we are on track for our monthly feedback stream, which I'm super excited for today because we've got 7 awesome, well, I say awesome, I haven't heard them yet, but most likely 7 awesome tracks to run through together. So, who we have? Let's run through who we have before we get started, and feel free to light up the chat with all of your feedback for the tracks, and we'll do a bit of a little bit of feedback on each one, but in a constructive and positive way always. Yeah, you guys let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. And if you can hear the beats, and then I'll get started playing the first song. So in the hat today, we have a number of producers, starting off with 9 Wrenches, who is my man Dean, coming in all the way from New York. And also Dean is a car mechanic and is currently listening to the stream in his mechanic shop. so hello everyone in hello everyone in Dean's car mechanic shop. I hope you can all hear. Rory joining the chat, thanks for popping in. Okay, you can hear me loud and clear, so I'll get started. So we've got Dean, 9 Wrenches, starting off, and yeah, we'll just go straight into it with Weightless. There we have it. That was weightless by 9 wrenches. And let's hope he can use 9 wrenches all at the same time, because then he'd be able to fix multiple cars at the same time. And then he'd be able to finish work early and get back home to the computer to make some more bangers like this. Wow, that was a good segue, wasn't it? Yeah, so I love that. I really like that. It had a really great classic feeling to it. I love the composition. I love the vibe. Just the whole arrangement is wicked for me. Yeah, feedback wise, I do like to give a little bit of constructive criticism. For me, the drums are not quite there yet. I think they could push through the mix a lot more, especially the kick and the snare. The hats kind of come through nicely, but I feel the kick and snare can really come through a bit more. And I think that's a combination of the kick and snare samples and also the sort of side chaining, or the lack of enough intense volume shaping to let the kick and snare cut through in those moments when they are heard. So yeah, I think a little bit more balancing in the mix down with regards to letting the drums come through a bit more would be nice. And also just be a little bit careful on the intro here with a couple of these sort of high-end cymbal-y crash things. See, they come up quite loudly in the high end here, some of these crash kind of effects things. So just sort of turn those down a little bit, I would say. And Digi says, nice, but maybe the vocal is a tiny bit loud. I kind of agree a little bit here as well. I think maybe just a little bit of gentle compression on that vocal group to tame the loud parts would be sufficient, but it wasn't superly over loud. Yeah, drums can cut through a bit nicer, and yeah, careful of those loud cymbal-y parts in the intro. Other than that, it's been an absolute pleasure to hear that one. So let's carry on with our next contestant, who is none other than Caliban, coming in all the way from Spain, our female producer of the group, who's writing some absolutely wicked, dark, techie vibe stuff that I really, really enjoy. And I believe Caliban is from Malaga, if I'm not mistaken. Someone can feel free to correct me. But yeah, this is Universe at 176 BPM, which is extremely fast, in my opinion. But, well, not really. But anyway, here's Caliban with Universe. Well, my G's, we have an absolute winner on our hands here. That was unbelievable. That's my favourite feedback stream tune that I've heard in, well, I don't know, in a while. It's absolutely right up my Strasser. Oh my goodness, Caliban. You better not be signing that with someone else already, because I want that one. It's not quite done yet. There's a few issues for me, like in the low mid range with the bass. Like it's a little bit unclear and muddy, but there's some parts that can be fixed up pretty easily. But in general, the storytelling of it, the enveloping, immersing feeling of that track is absolutely, yeah, like I said, right up my street. I absolutely love that. I'm absolutely in love with that song. Really, I just absolutely love that one. Really well done. Yeah, if you're not signing that with someone else, then make sure you write me in the Discord later, so we can try and do something with that. But yeah, I love that. Really, really amazing. I could listen to that again now, but we must move on. Angry woman, says Digipax. Yes, there's a very healthy expression of anger though. Kerry, thanks for joining the chat all the way from Texas. I like this, says Kerry. Yep, I love it. Dark and heavy vibe, says Digipax. Completely agree. Tony Montana says replay. We'll give a little rewind to the drop. Just a little rewind for a minute. It's got such an old school feeling, and the call and response is so cool. I love it. I absolutely love it. But we must move on. So, moving over to our next victim, we have Andy D, who I don't know if that's his producer name, but that's his name in the Discord, and he's a recent member. So thanks for joining, Andy. And hello to also Blips in the chat. Big ups to you, my G. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, we'll carry on with Andy D with Warning. And I have not listened to Andy D's stuff before, so I think it's the first time, I believe. And he's just joined the chat as well. Hey folks, sorry I'm late and missed the start. Well, you've got no excuse to be late for this, really, have you? And Subliminal Fusion in the house as well. He's got a track coming on just after this one. And yes, let's go anyway. Andy D with Warning. Warning. Wow, Andy D. He did give us a warning before it started. Um, wow, that was what was I gonna? The word I was thinking was not lacking in creativity at all, was it? It was very experimental and a lot going on. Really heavy. I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's crazy. I think it reminds me a little bit of like some sort of Rusty K magnitude kind of stuff. I feel like it still needs to be developed a bit mix down wise. There was some amazing. I love the use of the sound effects, the sound design, and how they relate with the synths. There's some really great. If anything, it's overuse of sound effects, but not necessarily though, because they all kind of worked quite nicely. There's like these so sort of some tools like, I don't know, what was it, like a drill or something like that, or a screwdriver. I don't know. It sounded like some sort of industrial tools in there, which kind of worked really really well where you placed them. So I like that. Yeah, the overall mix down needs a bit of polishing. It's not quite as clinical and clean as it could be. Difficult to get that when you've got so much going on, but definitely not outside of the realm of possibility. What you've already got there composition wise could still be cleaned up a fair bit to make it have a bit more, a little bit more impact and dynamic range. But that being said, very, very impressed with your sound design skills and your compositional skills, because there's a lot of intricate counter rhythms and movements and melodies and things going on between all of the elements, and it does all kind of work well together. So really, really well composed. Definitely, you've gone in hard on the the intense compositional aspect of the track. I like it a lot. Yeah, one more thing I was going to add, but I've forgotten now. Andy D, warning. Let's see what you guys are saying. Wow, this is heavy, says Kerry. Digipack says, sounds great. Love it. Dirty, nasty banger. Tony Montana says, I love this tune. Huge quality big synth, but I feel the same with my tracks. It lacks that build up to the climax where you feel the punch. Yeah, that's one thing I was going to mention, actually. The build up into the drop was a little bit of you didn't quite get that full impact because it kind of like sort of blended over. You know, it wasn't really much of a difference in energy from the build up to the drop. So it's probably, a little bit more mixed down clarity on the drop will help it have more impact. And then also maybe quietening some of the build up elements to give that, nice contrast would be cool. Kerry says, also loud on these phone earbuds, noticeably more luffs than the first two. Okay, so great stuff though, Andy. Thanks for sending that in. We're going to crack straight on with our next chicken. And this is Subfuse, who's recently joined. And you can tell he's recently joined because I haven't told him off yet for sending me a track at low volume. So we're going to have to turn this one up. You can see, if I just single you out here, Subfuse, all of the other submissions, the waveform is all nice and pushed to the max. And yeah, I did check that Logic hadn't turned it down, but it seems that the file is a little bit quiet. So just in the future, always send them at their full volume. So I'm going to turn it up a little bit here. I'm going to sort of guess. Hey man, is the private Joker tier enough for a submission? Not at the moment. No, it's just in the Discord at the moment. So that's on the Fire Team tier for this. Yeah, it's a little bit easier to organise everything via the Discord for this stream. Yeah, anyway, let's crack on with Subfuse and Dreadnought. And yeah, hopefully I've got the volume a little bit nicer here now. Here we go. Well, there we have it. That was Subfuse with Dreadnought. And yeah, really, really like the vibe on that one. Couple of little mixed down things with the low end, a little bit getting a bit rumbly with a little bit too much overwhelming information in the lows, as Digipax just mentioned as well. But yeah, it says I'll definitely make sure to send louder versions in the future for sure. New guy, new style in our Discord. Agree with that, Digipax. Although there's a slight sort of mix down thing going on, I really felt also a unique vibe from this song, and I really, really liked it. I love the progression of the intro. Was very, very nice. Yeah, it's nice and musical and melodic, and you got the vocal in there and everything. But I like the way you managed to keep my interest and keep it progressing all the way up to the drop. That was really cool. And then I love the vibe on the drop as well. If those elements were just clear, it would be really, really cool. Yeah. Kerry says, I like the style. I think the vocal line could have a little more variation. Yeah, I agree that it could have a bit more there as well. But yeah, as a whole, the vocal was pretty nice for me. It's just the kind of mix down thing in the low end that needs to be sort of addressed. Yeah, and I really like the drums on this one as well. I love the kick and the snare. They're a really great choice. I don't know if you layered them yourself or if you've just chosen cool samples, but I love the drums on it. Yeah, for you and perhaps with Andy as well. Obviously, you know, I would say this, but I'd love to have you guys in for a little one-on-one crash course if you're ever up for it. I'm actually I'm going to be away for a little while because I'm going to Israel for a show and a bit of exploring from the 27th of September until the 6th of October. But before then or after then, I'll be around if you guys ever want a little one-on-one crash course just to fix some of those low-end things in your mix. Yeah, it can be quite useful to get someone to directly show you and tell you and explain you why. This can be a little bit easier than tutorials sometimes. But yeah, I digress. Really, really like that though. I did feel the personality coming through in the song, so it felt very unique and different, and it's a pleasure to have you in our squad, 100%. Yeah, so let's crack on then with our young superstar of the Discord, Rakiv, who had a little he's on a little trip at the moment in Spain, I think somewhere, and yeah, wasn't able to make it on the stream live, but I'm sure he'll watch it back later. And yeah, Rakiv did a little Fruity Loops tutorial for the YouTube channel recently. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Let us know if you want him to do some more little Fruity Loops tips. And yeah, we're hoping to get a track from Rakiv on the label as well at either the end of this year or beginning of next year, hopefully. And yeah, looking forward to listening to this one from Rakiv, Unyielding, which I've not heard yet. So let's go with Rakiv. The nice little pause of the intro. Yes, my G's. Rekiv in the house there with Unyielding. It's a really cool name for a track. I really like that. Yeah, it does feel a little bit like it's in two parts. The second drop, I think maybe I prefer it a little more to the first one. I don't know which one I kind of like more. It's difficult to decide. It's a sound design. It's a sound design dream though. It's a lot of wizardry going on. Very, very cool. Very, very interesting techniques, and yeah, lot of really nice kind of like volume automation on a lot of things. It's very dynamic. It's difficult to say if I feel. Yeah, it feels like the song is not like complete yet, but it feels like, you know, it has massive potential. I feel like it just needs to be rearranged or restructured and finished up to make it like absolutely, you know, like a full finished track. But yeah, it does sound wicked though, and it seems like the mix down is a bit sort of cleaner and clearer than the last ones, because yeah, Rekiv's always had a amazing creative style, and some of the tracks from previous streams were sort of just pushed a little bit too hard, and that problem seems to have been resolved. So it feels like very clear and clean and polished. I just would love to have a little bit more time spent on the composition to sort of, yeah, maybe restructure it a little and get it to a nice, you know, complete sounding start and finish kind of thing, you know. But yeah, really, really cool though. Loads of great sounds, loads of great movement, very unique, very much signature Rekiv sound. Really, really enjoyed it, all of it, you know. Kerry says, would love to hear this on a big club sound system. 100%. Digipack's definitely a Rekiv track, and I like how he's using the sustain of sounds in the first part. Yeah, wicked stuff. Very, very talented. Okay, let's move on then to Nine Wrenches and Xenopath. So we've got a little bit of a double whammy with Nine Wrenches coming back in again, and I wouldn't normally allow, you know, two submissions from the same person, but it is a Discord collab with Xenopath, and it's great to have something from Xenopath on the stream as well. So in this case, I will allow it. So this is Nine Wrenches and Xenopath and Squid. No, not really. It's called Squad. That vocal is it's got a very old school kind of flavour to it, right? Yeah, that's Nine Wrenches and Xenopath with Squad. Really, really like that one.
Squad.
Yeah, I really like the first drop a lot. It's a lot cleaner than when I did hear this recently on a one-on-one session, and it's sounding a lot cleaner than last time. I think a little bit of over stereo low end still in that main sort of stabby mid bass. So just a bit of a mid side EQ to take out a little bit of that stereo in the low. Cleans it up a bit quite nicely for me. And then I think that we've got then a bit more room in the sort of high, mid-range and treble to add in a bit of extra layers to like flesh out the track. But yeah, a little bit more layering in there can definitely make the mid bass even nicer. But yeah, so it's sounding a lot nicer and a lot cleaner. And yeah, I really like it. And I like the I'd kind of like the first drop a bit more than the second one, although the second one is very interesting. Although I love the idea of the second drop because it gets quite rhythmically interesting. It doesn't quite feel as finished yet. I think there needs to be something else still in those sort of gaps in the background where it's kind of missing a bit of content still. So I think it needs to be a bit more fleshed out, or something else needs to happen still in the second drop. But the first drop is nicely composed though. I really like that one. Great rhythms on the bass as well. Yeah, great stuff. Definitely like the collab that's going on there. Hope you guys will finish that up and get another collab on the go as well. Got a bit of a USA, LA / New York collab going on in the Discord, which is wicked. Andy says, nice, I've got a good head bob going on here. Love the rhythms. Yeah, really nice rhythmical parts to that track. Digi says, yes, guys, it builds up very nice. Yeah, great stuff. Well, in that case, look, we've got 7 tracks in total, and we're going to push on straight to the last one of today then already. It's gone a little bit quickly today, hasn't it? But yeah, our last contestant then is none other than first producer to join my independent label, none other than Digipax from Cologne, who's currently listening on his Bluetooth speaker in the kitchen while he's cooking up a storm for his lucky restaurant customers. So, I believe it's called Neotech Punk, but I could be wrong. But it looks like that's the track name. I don't know if that's the final name, but anyway, Digipax with Neotech Punk. Here we go. Sorry, I sort of didn't give you enough space for your outro there. Maybe I'll just let that ring out a bit. Hang on. There you go. That was Digipax with a song which has not been titled yet, but it's called Neo Tech Punk, and it does have a really sort of tech punky feeling to it. It was crazy. I really like it overall. I would say definitely, it's really, really well made. We've got someone saying wow. Rory says when robots fight, it makes banging DNB. It seems. Yeah, I agree. It does sound a bit like a robot battle. Loving this, just my kind of music. Excellent work. Andy likes it a lot. Yeah, I like it. It kind of ties in with the theme from your previous release, Leaving Earth. It's very sci-fi drum and bass. So I really like that style. Yeah, I really enjoy that. I think I kind of prefer the first drop most. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just be honest about what I think about the track. I don't know if you've finished it or not, but I like the first 16 on the drop like far more than the progressions that happen later, because I feel like there's like enough space and you've got a nice groove going on, and then later on it does get a bit like, for me, overwhelming with like the amount of new like FX sounds and noises and everything. Although they're like pretty cool, this is just like a personal preference. I kind of like almost want, some of the sections to have more variation in the sense that, stripping things back and like switching up the groove, but not like adding just like more and more onto it to make it like even more complex. I felt like it was already nice and complex enough in the first 16, and then there's certain parts of it later where like it does become like even more complex as it goes on, and that's just a personal thing. But the whole like mix down and everything like that is spot on. Like I really like it. I just kind of wish that some of the variations later on were as like pleasing to the sort of groove as the first drop. That would just be my preference. But yeah, I can't knock it though, because that's just a personal style taste. I know that a lot of the guys in the chat really like the track and probably would absolutely love to keep it as it is. Yeah, but really though, you've done a big, you've done great work to get the mix down sounding as good as it does. I've got no complaints about the mix at all in any of the song. Yeah, so overall, very, very good stuff. And yeah, one more thing I wanted to say. What was it? I keep getting a brain freeze. Oh yeah, the drums. Yeah, I almost wish like if some of those like maybe putting some extra work into making the drums evolve and having those variate more. You know, not just, it doesn't have to be in, you know, just adding more layers on top, but it could be like switching up the drum groove, perhaps like making some nice ghost kicks and snares, you know, out of what you've got, and reshuffling the drum arrangement as it progresses. And then like you could sort of use that and like take away some of these like robot FX sounds, perhaps, because that could also provide a nice shift in energy, because it feels like the energy is always, you know, it's always going forward. It really feels like a battle that's just going on and on, you know. And I feel like it would be cool if there were some parts where you switch the energy the other way, you know, where it becomes a little bit more, yeah, more stripped back and more funky with less stuff going on. That would be how I would play it. But I love the first drop is the first 16 is wicked though. Yeah, and I'll stop ranting now. But that's just my impression, because I really, really like the whole sort of idea that you've gone for. So I don't want to, yeah, spoil it by keep ranting about it. But that's just my thoughts on it. But yeah, it sounds great though. It sounds great. Anyway, we've had a fun one today. I must say I don't want to be a favoritist, but I've been most impressed by Caliban's progress, because it's for me it's always about, you know, hearing someone who's sort of like just like leveled up their style or their production from one stream to another, or you know, since when I last heard them, basically. And for me that was a real level up from Caliban there, and I absolutely love, like, not completely perfect in the mix down yet, but the whole vibe of that tune, I really, really love that. Yeah, that if I had to pick like a crowd favorite today, just from the aspect of how I feel like someone's leveled up, I would say Caliban smashed it today. So yeah, big ups to you. But all of the tracks have been very, very enjoyable today, especially the Weightless by 9 Wrenches at the start. I love the vibe on that. Andy with his warning, it's got some crazy sound design going on. Really like that. Subfuse with the Dreadnought, we've got a great vibe going on there. Just need to fix the mix down stuff a bit there. Reki, as always, absolutely smashing the sound design and great rhythms and grooves, and just want that track to be, you know, sort of finalize the structure. Yeah, Squad needs a bit more layering and a bit more work, but definitely sick rhythms going on there. And yeah, Digi, absolutely loving the sci-fi feeling, bro. So yeah, that's been it for the stream today. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Thanks a lot, all you guys, for watching. And if you guys are watching this on catch up later on, then yeah, leave some comments down below what you think. Give the guys some feedback. Yeah, write some things in the YouTube video comments. And yeah, thanks a lot for watching, my G's. Most of you on here are already on my Discord on Patreon, but if you're not on Patreon and you want to support the channel, that's one way you can do it. You can also grab some presets off my website anytime you like. Or yeah, you can also book in some one-on-one mentorship sessions. That's always available, except for between the 27th of September and the 6th of October for a few days. I'm away in Israel, so I'm not going to be probably able to teach while I'm there. So yeah, just a little time off, but then I'll be back from the 6th of October again, teaching Monday through Saturday. And yeah, if you're not able to support the channel with Patreon pledges or mentorship or anything, don't worry. Just leave some nice comments and some likes on the videos, and that's good enough for me as well. So thanks a lot for everyone being a part of this stream and for sending in your work. And it's very brave to send your stuff in to be publicly, leave it up to public feedback. But to be honest, if anyone's really rude or horrible, I'll just delete them off the channel anyway, so don't worry. All right, my G's, then have a great rest of your Friday. Have a great weekend. And yeah, guys, feel free to chat rubbish in the Discord whenever you like. Send some selfies, all that good stuff. And yeah, we'll keep in touch over the weekend anyway, I'm sure. Thanks, my G's. Have a great rest of your day.